I would just give a bit of information about the video that you are about to watch. Please ignore the wet hair. I have just got out of the shower and I thought, you know what, let's just get this filmed and the introduction done, dusted. No, cannot talk tonight. I do not know what's up with me. Yeah, one less thing to worry about. So, the video that you are about to watch was filmed many, many moons ago, and it's just been sat on my laptop. I will admit, I did completely forget that I had this, and I thought, you know what, let's involve it in Videomas, because I was really struggling for ideas. Last year, as you know, it wasn't successful, but that wasn't my fault. It was something that happened in my personal life. So yeah, I thought I might as well include this video as part of Videomas. So, like I said, this video was filmed many, many moons ago. I'm talking about probably the start of the year. So yeah, the content that you are about to watch will involve when theatres were fully shut. Like, theatres were not open. Boris was being an absolute prat and wouldn't even mention them, but then he eventually did, hence why one of the questions was, how do you feel that theatres are now allowed to reopen in May, blah de blah de blah de blah. That is how long ago that this video has been in existence, and I've never uploaded it. I don't know why I've never uploaded it, but I've never uploaded it. So yeah, you are finally now getting one of the 3 episodes for Videomas. So yeah, I thought I might as well include a few Q&As in here. These were just an idea. I mean, you might not enjoy them, you may enjoy them, but yeah, I just thought instead of them sitting on my laptop, they need to be uploaded. So yeah, you got them as part of Videomas. So I thought that just before you watch the video and get absolutely confused and start going in the comments, oh, theatre shut again, I've not read this, thought I would give you like a little brief introduction. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this Q&A, and yeah, now you know, so you don't have to bombard the comments with, oh well, what's going on, have theatre shut again. Don't worry, they haven't. Thank the Lord. I would have cried if that had happened again. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up rambling, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm joined today with a special guest, which is Amy Goodwin.
Hello everyone! Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you for doing this. Would you just like to give a brief introduction about yourself?
Oh yeah, sure. And I love when people ask that and you go, where do I start? Okay, so I'll start so I started dancing, I'll go with that, when I was 3. I trained at a place called Cardwell Theatre School in Altrincham. And then as I got older, I trained in different places, well, like the Northern Valley Theatre at Leeds. And then when I was 16, I auditioned for a few different colleges in London. And I eventually went to Lane Theatre Arts in Epsom and spent 3 fabulous years there, meeting the most wonderful friends and gorgeous family. And then after my first job, so I graduated years ago now, I think 2009, goodness me. And then I had my first job, which was cruise ships in P&O, Australia. So I traveled around there for about, I'm going to say maybe 3 or 4 years after I graduated. I didn't want to come back. I loved it so much. And then when I came back, I've done a variety of European tours. I've done concerts. I've been pantomimes as well. I've been lucky enough to do a recording as well, which was really cool, like a concept album for a new musical, which was written by my sister's fiance, which is really cool. And then obviously recently, and most people know, is my journey in Wicked. And I did the international tour and UK tour. And then I did the Ireland and UK tour after that, playing swing and covering both witches, which is very interesting. A lot of work, a lot of hard work it was, but it was worth it. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Great. So I just asked my Instagram followers just to give you a few questions. Then at the end, there's just like a quick fire round.
Oh, fab, I love it.
So the first question is, what was the best part about being in Wicked?
Oh, I'm going to say, for me, I think it was covering both witches, which in itself is insane to me still. I still think, oh my goodness me, how lucky is that? I think because it was playing two completely different characters, and as an actress I'm all about story, and especially with storytelling and the process of the character, and with those completely opposite parts, for me as an actress was so fun to explore. And also I think there's another thing is the costumes. I think that's one of my favorite parts in any musical, is when you put the costumes and the wigs and everything comes together. So to have a variety of costumes in that show, especially for the two different characters that I covered, is just, I think that was my favorite part of going, oh my goodness me, this is incredible. To play these two completely opposite tracks at the same time is pretty awesome. So I think that's going to be my favorite thing.
Great. So as you said, you covered both Elphaba and Glinda. So how did it feel to basically cover the two like main roles in that show?
To be fair, even to this very day, I do have to pinch myself. It was a complete dream to be in that show. I saw it when it came out when I was 16, and I paid to work so I could afford a ticket to go watch the show at the weekend. I was there nearly every weekend. They knew me for that as well. And for me, just to be able to say that I've played both of them and had the opportunity to do that is just amazing. I think it's very lucky and very fortunate. I was there at the right place at the right time, I think, and I auditioned first for Elphaba. That was the one that I really wanted. That's got the special place in my heart, is Elphaba. And the first time round, I just was offered swing. There was no cover tracks available, and then a cover Glinda came around. So that was really interesting, and also it was good for me for my vocal stamina, and two for my vocal range. Two completely opposite characters and parts that it did take a while for me, especially to learn lines as well, because when I'd done my Glinda, obviously I was Glinda first in one of the contracts, and the second contract I was Elphaba and Glinda. So to then go back and have to rehearse with somebody knowing you'd done that part, and that you can see in your head where they're stood, and then you have to say the lines as the opposite character. So it did take a while to keep going in and out of different characters, two scripts with different highlights in, but honestly, I can say that I feel privileged is the only thing is the word that comes to mind, because it's one of those things that is like, yeah, again, pinch me moment. I can't believe that I've done that, and it was an honor to be those beautiful, beautiful parts. So yeah, dream come true.
So the next question is, what is the best job you have done?
Oh, that is a really good question. Oh, I think I can't really have like a favorite job. I think each individual job that I've done has had its own rewards, because like my cruise ships, traveling was just absolutely incredible, going to loads of different places in Australia, meeting the most incredible people. And also the shows were they were so varied. The variety was like, it could be like a rock show, a comedy show, a musical theatre show. So in that sense, that was probably one of my favorite jobs to do because of the variety. But I've had pantos. I did one last year at the Harlow Playhouse, which was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had in a show. I think it was just so much fun. The team were lovely, and obviously Wicked's just a dream. So I think when it comes to that, it's really hard to pick one thing. But I'm going to say, if I had to pick, I'm gonna say my panto at Harlow is probably my favorite one, because I just think I love panto and everyone was so love it. And then very, very close is Wicked, of course, because that was my dream. That was my dream since I was 16 years old, all those years ago. That's such a good question.
So the next one is, out of all the roles you have played and covered, which one would you say has a similar personality to you?
In my head, I would love to. I say that I'm Elphaba, but I'm definitely not. I'm personality-wise, I'm gonna have to say I'm definitely Glinda. There's no doubt about it. Because I just think, I mean, one, I'm obsessed with shoes. I mean, she has a very good shoe collection, doesn't she? And two, I just think she's like, it's the bubbly side, her personality. Like, I think popular when everything's so excitable and this, I think for me in my head, I'd love to, yeah, Elphaba, I think I am. But I'm more Glinda, I think. Yeah.
So still on Wicked related, what would you say that your favorite memory from that show was?
Oh goodness me, there's so many, but my favorite, I'm gonna have to say, was, there's two, was hearing the overture when I went on for Glinda. I'll never ever forget that feeling, being in the bubble, in the dress with the wand, and the music came on, and in my head I was going, you've heard this overture so many times in your life, but this time round you're Glinda. People are watching this show and you're playing Glinda. So still to this very day, that's one of the most insane moments I can ever think. My heart goes and I smile when I think about it, because I'm like, that is so lucky. But I do think to top it would be the very first time I tried on my Elphaba costumes. I cried. I absolutely bawled putting the school uniform on, because so yeah, like I said, when I was 16, I saw the show and I said to myself, no matter what I do in my career, I will be that part one day. And I fought and I practiced so hard on, like, with the songs, with singing. It took me 4 years to get in the show, and my track wasn't available, then it was, and there was different things. And then the moment I was sat in Tesco's car park, and I got a phone call from my agent the second year, and they said they've offered you cover Elphaba. I burst into tears, and then obviously it was Margie at the time who in charge of the costumes, an amazing lady. And she handed me my dress for the beautiful Act 2 dress, and I just burst into tears when they even they don't let you see yourself. I got changed face in the back, and then you do a spin to face the mirror. And just that, I mean, I can't stop smiling because it just feels like a complete dream. I think that, and the school uniform, because that was though for me, I think if anybody, well, for me anyway, wanting to play Elphaba, was that feeling of wearing the black dress for the first time, and also running through the doors at the back with the suitcase and the school uniform and the beanie. And so when they put me in that, I think that was probably the crowning glory of my journey. I think it was just the most incredible experience.
Great. So the next question is, what does musical theatre mean to you?
Oh, everything. It's just, I mean, it's just a joy. There's such a variety of musical theatre out there, and it puts a smile on my face. It means everything to me, because I've grown up dancing and singing and acting, and it's not just about my career, it's about the people I've met on the way, and the people who've made me who I am now. And that sounds really cheesy, but I've met some incredible friends now that are my family, and I think it's the journeys that you go on as well. So musical theatre for me just means pure joy, because I have so many incredible memories of what musical theatre means to me, and also the joy it brings to everybody. I mean, like now everything's in lockdown, and and everybody's missing theatre, and I think that for me just says it all. Musical theatre's it's just a joy. It's an absolute joy.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, a lot of people use it as an escapism as well.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, and even as an audience, like, you have it both ways. People can, like, when I go and watch a show, I'm exactly the same. I use it to escape, and I sit there, and you're just, the emotions you're taking on, but also, and then you reverse it and you're in the show again. It's escape. You get to work and you're playing these incredible roles, and it just, and every single opportunity is different, and so you're sat there and knowing that you're making someone's life in the audience, knowing that at one point they're looking at you and and sometimes, like for parts, for me, wanting to be that part, and so you're inspiring and people, and inspiring actors and graduates, because I like Kerry Ellis for me was everything, Louise Dearman, and all these, like, every different people that I used to see in musicals I wanted to be. So I think that as well, yeah, it's an escapism, and it's using theatre to express yourself as well, I think, sometimes, which is the gorgeous thing about it.
So the next question is, what is your dream role?
Oh, well, my dream role is Elphaba, which is, which I want to know at 16. But one that I've not done, that's a dream role, is, I've got a few. When I'm older, I want to be Donna in Mamma Mia. I really want to be Donna in Mamma Mia. I would love to be, I'm going to say, Anna or Elsa in Frozen. I'd love to be Elsa because I love the songs, but I think personality-wise, I think I'm more of an Anna. So I'd love to be, I think, yeah, I'm gonna say an Anna or an Elsa for a dream role. I did want to be Lucy in Jekyll and Hyde. Because I absolutely adore the soundtrack to that show. I think it is just beautiful. So yeah, I think those ones I'm gonna say are on the top of the tick list. But yeah, that's such a good question. I always think when someone says that, I'm like, oh, I don't know. There's so many, because there's so many amazing parts out there. But yeah, I'm gonna say those ones are the top.
Great. So the next question is, if you could return to a role that you have played or covered previously, who would it be and why?
Oh my goodness me. Oh, that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. But I think I did a show in, like, Musical Star Nights, where I played quite a few people, and it was like a review show, and there was quite a few different characters in that. But I think, no, I'm going to have to say, if I'm going to go back to anything, and this is not, and I didn't think I would say this, but I'm going to say Glinda. I'm going to say Glinda. If I could go back and cover her, I would absolutely love it. She's such a joy. I love the role. I love everything about it, what it brings. She's just so joyful. And yeah, Glinda.
So the next question is, what advice would you give to people who want to get into musical theatre?
Oh, now I teach, so I always, when I say to people who want to get to musical theatre, is don't give up on yourself. And I know everybody says that. And if you think you can't, change your attitude to you can, because there's so many different routes you can go on, and I think it's just believing in yourself. You're going to get, I think most people say, you're going to get so many no's for that one yes, and everybody's been in that position, and sometimes you think that they haven't, and you see everybody, and you go, oh, I want to have their career, I want to this, but you don't know what their journey was to get there. They work so hard to get to that position. So I think that if it stay true to yourself, be kind. I'm always about that. And just, if you've got a goal, go for it, because it's the same. If you want something, fight hard for it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it. Just go for it. And yeah, if you get knocked down, brush yourself off, do have a cry if need be, but brush yourself up, stand up and move forward. There is always something out there for you, and it might not come at the right time, at the time you think it should have come. It might come years later, but it's just, yeah, staying true to yourself and never giving up if you want something, and fighting hard for it. That's what I'd say.
Great. So the next question is one that appears like very, very, very regular. And it is, if every character you have played met in person, what do you think would happen?
Every character I play, I think they'd have a party. Oh goodness me, I'm trying to think. So who might work? So I've got a few fairies in Panto. Obviously, it's Elf and Glinda. They'd be fine together. I think Glinda would get on with anybody, to be fair. In my I did a show called Musical Star Nights, where I did I think I was Velma Kelly, Sally Bowles, Eponine. There's quite a few, so to be fair, I think they'd have a good old chin wag, but most of all, yeah, a big party. That is such a good question. I love that. Yeah, I've had a variety of characters, really, that I've played. Even from my cruise ships, I was a pirate, and I actually was in a show when I was 19. Yeah, in my pirate show, I was dressed as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, so that would be quite interesting to see. I'd like to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle with Glinda and Elphaba. So I would, to be fair, I'd love to be at that party. I love that question. That's brilliant.
A very chaotic night.
It would, wouldn't it?
So the next question is, what is your favourite movie musical?
Oh, movie musical. Oh, goodness me. Right, I'm gonna have to go old school on this one, because I was brought up on, obviously, The Wizard of Oz, Seven Brides, Seven Brothers, Annie Get Your Gun, Calamity Jane, Singing in the Rain, all of that. Now, if I had to pick a favourite one out of those, or my favourite singer, Barbra Streisand, like Hello Dolly and Funny Girl, I'm gonna have to say Calamity Jane. I love it. I absolutely love that show. I just think it is beautiful. I just think it's, yeah. And me and my sister, the song in the middle, the A Woman's Touch, me and my sister used to clean our room to that song when we were younger. So I'm gonna have to go old school, Calamity Jane. Although, no, I think recently I loved Hairspray. I loved the movie musical Hairspray. I thought that was really, I loved it. So I'm gonna say Hairspray and Calamity Jane. I think those two.
So like you said before, you've obviously done quite a few pantos through your career. So out of all the ones you have done, which one would you say is your favourite?
Ooh, I think I'm gonna say I think Harlow Playhouse. When it was Jack and the Beanstalk last year, and I was Jill, and and I think it's because I'd always been a fairy before that, and this was my first kind of like she wasn't really a princess, I'd say, Jill. She was quite feisty, which I loved. And I sang Defying Gravity, climbing up the beanstalk, which was brilliant. So I was like, that's jokes. I love it. I think I'm going to definitely say Harlow, because the team, for me, hands down, are the nicest group of people I've ever worked with, from like the costume, the techies, from the directors, the casting team, MDs, choreographer Claire, who I worked with at Musical Star Nights years ago. They are just the most beautiful people I've ever worked with. So I'm gonna say that I had such a blast last time. The cast were just amazing. I loved them. Yeah, I'm gonna say Harlow Playhouse, Jack and the Beanstalk.
So the next question is, did you prefer going on for Elphaba or Glinda?
Glinda. To be fair, I didn't go on for Elphaba, which is, it's one of those things you never know whether you're going to go on for it. But the cover run, I think because obviously it wasn't the full show, it was just the cover run. And because I did play Glinda with, it was just I think, yeah, Glinda, without a shadow of a doubt, because I had everything there. I'd not done it for 6 months, bearing in mind, so that was quite fun. I got the phone call like, can you go on for Glinda tonight? And I was like, yes. And I was stood there, people were like, when did you last do this? And it was 6 months previous, and that I had my cover run on the first contract. And on the second contract, we just started, and I'd not even been on for a swing track at all. So I'd not even been on stage with the cast. And then I got the phone call, can you go on for Glinda tonight? And I was like, oh my goodness me. So I think, yeah, Glinda, because obviously I went on stage with an audience for her. So yeah, Glinda all the way.
So the next question is, who is the most famous person who has been in the audience while you've been on for one of your covers?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I don't know, because we were in Zurich for when I went on for Galinda. But to be fair, I don't know, because my cover run, there wasn't really anybody there. The most famous person was probably, I don't know, probably cast members of previous Wickeds, because they all came to support me. Because I don't think, in Zurich I didn't know anybody, and so I don't know, but I did for when I sang, in my third year at Lane, Kerry Ellis came to watch and had a little solo with my sister, so that was a bit like, that was a moment for me, and I was like, oh my goodness me, because I ended up with, it was my friend, because my friend Jodie Steele, I ended up with her Act 2 dress, and I think I ended up with it, I think they said Kerry Ellis's skirts, I think it was, and I was like, oh my goodness me, because they do give you different people's costumes in certain tracks. So, but yeah, I don't know, unless there was someone very famous there in Zurich. I actually don't know. But that's a really good question. Hopefully one day, I mean, to be fair, if I'm going to pick somebody who I'd like to be in the audience, then I think I'm going to say Chris Evans, Captain America, because I'm a big Marvel fan. And I think if he ever was in an audience when I was on for anything, I think my dream would be complete.
So the next question is, what is the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to you on stage?
I'm trying to think now. I love this question. I'm like, right, what's the thing? I think I always say it was when I was on my cruise ship and I crashed into the set. And that was quite fun. I misjudged on my very first contract. I was 19, and we were in can outfits, and they were very, very heavy. And I kind of didn't judge it. I think the boat rocked, the ship rocked as we went. So as I went round, it kind of like took me back, and I just went smash into the set, and it kind of like wobbled and moved and everything, and everyone was laughing, and I was like, oh my goodness me, I'm so embarrassed right now. I'm trying to think, I've not had a thing of going of like a wig or a costume malfunction. I don't think I have. Really, to be fair, I've been quite lucky with stuff like that. Touch wood, nothing happens to me if anything else. But I think I've been okay. I did do I've never been one for a mock-up matinee. I get really nervous on stuff like that. But however, in panto, I did my very first mock-up matinee, and Jake Small, he's gone into Frozen now. He's lovely, he's so nice. He was Jack, and one of our dancers had a little puppy, and so I had a little pink outfit on, and my first thing, I walked on with suitcases, put the suitcases down and said hello to Jake in the scene, and all of a sudden I thought, right, I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna do something. It's my first mock-up matinee all these years later, and I thought, I'm gonna bring the dog on. So I asked around, asked my producers, asked everybody, and they were like, yes, go for gold. So we dressed her up as well. She had a little pink outfit, and she was tiny. So I walked on stage with the dog instead of the suitcases. And the whole audience went, oh, and Jay came off afterwards and went, I knew you'd literally done something, because I heard the audience and I was like, what has she done? And he turned around and he just went, and I was like, hello. And I was thinking, oh my goodness me. And I had my friend Laura, who was playing the baddie, on standby, just in case. I was like, what happens if like the dog wheezes or something? She was like, just pass it back to me if that's the case. So I had her on standby, but it was only like 3 sentences. So I think that was quite cute. It's not embarrassing, but I think, yeah, the set one for me is quite embarrassing, if I'm completely honest. I think that's the best one, I think. I'll probably think of something when I come off record, to be fair.
I mean, mock-up matinees are probably one of the most like well-known theatre traditions.
Aren't they just?
Like I've been in an audience for a mock-up matinee, and I just knew straight away. I was like, I have a feeling that they're gonna do something, and they did. Oh, it was hilarious.
Absolutely, it's like do something that's really subtle, but the audience kind of won't know. But then obviously, if you really know the show, then it's really obvious, and you go, this. Oh yeah, it's so funny. And I get really nervous. I'm like, are they gonna do anything to me? Because I'm quite good at keeping like a straight face, but once I've gone, and my shoulders go and everything. So panto for me, mock-up matinee, I'm like, oh, I have to brace myself, and everyone's coming up to me going, oh, we're gonna get you today, Amy. And I'm like, please don't you get me on a regular basis. I'm not even a mock-up matinee. So when it's a mock-up matinee, I'm like, and concentrate. So yeah, it's one of those things, but I do secretly love it. I kind of like to see what people are gonna do.
So the next question is, what musical do you want to see become a movie musical?
Oh, I'm trying to think now. To be fair, Wicked's quite impressive. I'd quite like to see that. Although I'm really intrigued, and I don't know whether people agree with me, whether Defying Gravity in like cinematic kind of way that they do it would be as magical as how it's done
on stage.
So I'm quite intrigued with that. I'm trying to think of other ones. Yeah, I'm quite intrigued. Oh, We Will Rock You. I think that would be awesome. I mean, I love that show. Yeah, I'm gonna go with those. I think those two, to be fair.
I mean, they've had rumours for Wicked to become a movie musical for so long.
So long, haven't they?
Just do it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, right, come on now. I think it was years. It was years ago, wasn't it? That it came out, and everyone was like, oh my goodness me, this is amazing. And now I'm just like, come on now, can we happen? Because I'd be really intrigued. I mean, I'd love to be in it. I'd even just walk across the back, just one scene, just a little quick walk on. I'd love that. But yeah, I'd be quite intrigued to see how they do that, and how, I mean, obviously all the magical aspects of the show, I think, would look great. But yeah, some of it, yeah, I'd like to see how it would differ from stage to screen, really. So I think I'd be quite intrigued by that one.
Yeah. So the next question is, do you have any behind the scenes stories that you can share or want to share?
Behind the scenes? I'm trying to think now. Behind the scenes, there's to be fair, it's the ones that I'm trying to think of now is panto ones are the ones that get like people in the wings trying to make you laugh all the time. Those are just people I've had once where like in panto where it's like a freeze frame, and then people freeze in like the thing, and they put fingers up your nose and things, and you're trying not to laugh, and you're like, oh my goodness me, people at the side of the stage dancing around. And I think as well, like there's little things where, especially as swings, like I think in Wicked and stuff, going back, like, because we're backstage, pretty much most of the time if we're not on. So I think it's kind of like we had I think the one that I remember is me, Nikki Bentley and Daniel Greenway being sat in my dressing room in where was it again? I think it's Sunderland, and Dan got a hook thing on it and like a little net for balls, and we just sat there for the whole show just throwing a thing, and I kept thinking to myself, this is really odd. Like, how are we sat here doing like ping pong throws when people are on stage giving it large in the show that we're in? So I found that quite funny as swings and stuff. But yeah, little stories, just keeping each other entertained backstage, really, I think, for swings, and just trying to keep the energy up as well is one of the things. Obviously, we worked a hell of a lot. But there were days when we just were like, you know what, we've done enough work and we know what we're doing. Let's just have a day off where we don't do anything. So on tour, that happened a lot, where we just went, right, we did obstacle courses in the green rooms and stuff. And like, we bought basketballs, and me and Stuart were like throwing them, and we like going round different things. That was in Dublin. And there's a picture of me like we had this, and it was like little golf course kind of like obstacle that we did. But it's just, yeah, we were just trying to keep ourselves amused really while we weren't on, and just trying to go through things and keeping us all entertained. But yeah, panto are the ones that are the funniest ones, because you never really know what anyone's going to do at the wings and stuff, and you'd see people waving, you'd be like, why are they waving? And you don't want to like be distracted by them, and people are like trying to put you off, and you're going, oh, this is really hard. But yeah, so they're the stories that I like, that are the funny ones that try and get you distracted.
So the next question is, do you have any pre-show rituals?
Yes and no. I kind of like, I could try not to get into a routine of things, because otherwise then I have to do it and then I start getting myself a bit anxious and nervous. So normally my pre-show go-to is I have an amazing singing teacher, Dane, who is just a vocal god. So I normally do set aside time to physically do the stretches and warm up my voice, like him, like primal sounds, all of that, and breathing exercises, because that also calms me down a little bit. I listen to music a lot, normally not anything to do with the show. Sometimes, especially in panto, we like crank the music up and stuff. In Wicked, it was because I was a swing, it was kind of don't make yourself nervous because it was, for me, I think that was my thing that I'm gonna say I struggled with, was the not knowing as a swing who I was going on for. I was a great swing, my brain's great, on paper I'm amazing, I write things down, I'm so organized, but mentally it's quite demanding for me. Some people love the not knowing who's like when you're going on and thrown on, but for me personally it's quite so I kind of tried to just make sure headphones on most of the time, just chill, go over my tracks. So before the show started, I'd go through every single one from start to finish, so I knew and I was comfortable in case I had to go on for any one of them. And then after, and just, but I think that's the difference. Yeah, when I'm on for a swing, it's more internal, and I kind of keep myself to myself. Because it's just the way I am. But when I'm playing one track, which I love, and I can just do it, then I'm party Amy. I love putting the music on, chatting away, seeing if everybody's okay and stuff, and music's blaring. So yeah, I think it's different for me anyway, for which job I do, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's different. Yeah, I think, yeah, swinging is different for me than just having one track. So I think, yeah, for me mentally it prepares me in different ways. So yeah, that's a good question, that one.
So the final question for this bit is one that I'm asking everyone, and it is, how do you feel now that Boris has finally mentioned theatres and that they can reopen in May?
Oh, thank the Lord. Is that what we're saying? I think it kind of like, when it all happened in lockdown, I think everybody was just in disbelief that we were in the middle of a global pandemic. Nobody ever thought this would happen. And I think as performers and actors and everybody involved in the entertainment industry, it kind of was a little bit of a blow, if I'm honest, to all of us, because obviously the theatre and the arts bring in so much money to the country, and to like, obviously with Netflix, everything's out on, like, you know, and it's got us through, like, that's what's got. And so to feel like we were put on the back of the line of the queue was kind of like a moment when I was a bit like, oh, I felt a bit gutted, if I'm honest. I think most people did. But then now, finally, how it's crawling back, it just makes me realize how lucky we are to do what we do. Yeah. It is an incredible, like, it's like I said before, it's a joy to be involved in this entertainment industry, no matter what you do, whether you're on the stage, off the stage, no matter what department you're in. It's amazing to be a part of this incredible thing we offer. And so now that everything's starting to go back, and and when obviously they started the theatre, because for me as well, it was the theatres closing that really hurt me. And even theatres that I've not performed in or not been to, it's the local theatres, the local communities, like those are, like you said before, they're escapism for people. And the arts, it's so important in the curriculum, in education as well. It's so important. So I feel like, you know, it's one of those things I was like, please don't do this, you know, we need support, we need, as a community, for everything that we offer. So it was one of those moments when I was a bit like, oh, I'm gutted, and I'm angry as well in some parts of it. I think everybody was as well, disappointed. But now I think I go, right, now when we get back, we are, and especially now with the grants and stuff, I think that's helped a lot of theatres. I know it's helped my the Playhouse in Harlow, I've seen, because I follow them all the time, and I know it's helped, like, and to get productions back in, and you know, and not everybody's had that grant as well, we have to remember. So it's really difficult, and we just have to feel that moment of when everything's back to normal and we've pushed through together, and you know, gone, right, now we're bigger, now we're better, and I hope people, and especially I hope they realise how important we actually are to, you know, to the culture, to, you know, to everything, like Broadway. There's theatres around the world. It's not just the West End. There's theatres everywhere. So I think that for me was, I hope they realise, you know, how much culture and money we bring to this. Like, that's the thing for me, is going, come on now, government, please. We're good at what we do. We deserve the respect. We bring in great, like, money, and I think that for me is the moment when I was like, come on now, Boris, come on, please. But hopefully, touch wood, we're all coming out soon. And it'll all be good and better, and everybody will just, you know, we won't forget this. I don't think anybody will forget this.
No.
But I think we'll move on from it, and we'll grow. We'll grow from it. So yeah.
Like, when it first happened, I don't think the government noticed that obviously theatre is people's jobs as well.
Absolutely.
And there was, like, also, I think it was like money funding, I think it was like 1.5 billion or something, like that was meant to go to the arts, and then next thing you know, it just went and was never spoke about again.
Yeah.
And the government have, like, literally made theatre the last priority. But in my eyes, if you can sit in a restaurant and that, where there's people, if you can go into a pub and drink, why can't you sit in a theatre at a 50% capacity, wearing a mask, watching a show that you enjoy?
Yeah, and it's like what Andrew Lloyd Webber did. Oh, what a legend he was. When they opened, they did that test run, and it sounded fantastic. Everybody was like at socially distant. The lengths they went to get the theatre open. And yes, okay, it will take time until everybody's back in the theatre and feel safe to be able to feel like how we did when before the pandemic. It will take time, but it's like exactly what you said. It's that thing of, if we go to lengths and do it correctly at the 50% capacity, or however many people we have to let in the theatre at a certain time, and testing everything. I know obviously with the testing it's money, but if that's possible, then why not? It's like when you see the pubs opening and everybody's inside or outside and you're having a meal, and I just think, but everybody's separated, and I was like, I just don't understand, because everything is just like, it's fine. Like, if we stuck to the rules in the theatre, I'm like you, I'm like, come on now, if it's done correctly, like they proved it could be done, then absolutely, when it's safe, let's get going again.
100%. So we're just gonna finish off with a quick fire round.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So Favourite musical?
Wicked.
Plays or musicals?
Musicals.
Show you want to see after lockdown?
Frozen.
West End or Broadway?
Broadway.
Show you want to see revived?
The Wild Party.
Favourite theatre you have performed in?
I'm going to say the theatre in Zurich. I can't remember the name of it though.
And finally, this question has caused a debate with everyone I've asked it to. Is cereal soup?
It's cereal soup. That's such a good question. I'm going to say no.
Literally, the looks I've had when I've asked that question, some have said yes, some have said no, some have told me to sling me up.
I did have to double. I was like, it's cereal soup. And you know, when you start second guessing yourself, you're like, is it soup? No, I'm going to say no.
Literally, that. I basically got that question from the UK Tour Queens of Six.
Amazing, I love it.
And basically, they posted a video because somebody asked that question, and it was just Lauren Burns' reaction that made me want to ask it.
I think it's a great question. I'd love to see people's answers.
Literally, one of them literally stopped, looked at me and went, "Can you repeat that, please?"
I was like, oh yeah, no, I've got it. Now I understand. Oh my goodness, that's brilliant.
Honestly, I've had some really weird looks.
Oh, bless you.
Like, I don't know if you watch TikTok. Do you watch TikTok a lot?
I actually don't have I actually don't have an account.
So basically, there was something going around at the beginning of the year, and it was putting baked beans on Weetabix.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Heard about it?
Oh, baked beans on Weetabix. I mean, I like Weetabix. Oh no. I don't think don't think I could do that.
Honestly, it was just one of them things where I looked at it and I was like, Are you okay in the head? Honestly.
Oh yeah, I think with Weetabix, I think I'd probably stick to what's it called, putting me fruit on it and stuff. Although I do heat it up sometimes. I know some people don't like that. I do like heating it up and mixing it together. Then yeah, so it's different. But yeah, I think yeah, I couldn't imagine putting baked beans in it.
No.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I love it.
So there you go, guys. If you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all soon for another video.